Hello, welcome back to Ace Combat 7.
Do you think jet fuel can melt steel beams, though?
I'm not gonna go crashing into a wall to find out.
Now wait till we do the stage in Farbonte, and you've got lots of buildings to crash into.
Oh, don't worry, I'll probably crash into at least one in this playthrough. Just cause, you know, luck and me being stupid.
These things happen.
I saw both the little sizzle trailer they put out and the 7 minutes of gameplay at Sonic Frontiers, and you remember how I said, man, I have this bad feeling that it's gonna be like every open world game that ends up not being great, where it's just an open world with a whole lot of nothing without really much thought put out into where to place things.
Why does it look so slow?
Yeah.
Like, it's Sonic.
I know some people are defending it, going like, "But we haven't seen much." And I'm like, that was supposed to be their "Get You" trailer. Like,
I was gonna say I thought they were going to say it's supposed to be slow.
this is their sizzle trailer to get you interested in it.
It's supposed to suck. That's just how games are these days.
Like, this looks like a fucking tech demo. Like, does it look like the worst thing in the world? No. But does it look great? No. I actually did see one person say, like, "Oh, this is the best trailer I've seen all year. This is really good." And I'm like, did you just not see any other trailers this year? Like, no other? Like, hell, like, I don't care about Pokemon, but, like, if you were to say, "Hey, Dan, which would you buy?" I'd be like, I guess I'm buying Pokemon.
I would have not bought I would have not got Pokemon, but then someone posted this image, which I guess I'll show you guys later, of the two legendaries as motorcycles in a certain IP.
Oh, I've seen that image.
Yeah. Pokemon on motorcycles and all.
Like it's the thing where it's like, yeah, I'm tired of the Pokemon formula, but like, if you're like, what would you enjoy more? I'd be like, well, it's Pokemon. Like, it's.
I think the main thing is
function.
Well, the other thing is that Pokemon you can play as a thing with friends now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you always could, but now it's a lot more of an actually involved kind of.
It's
like,
easier.
all the enjoyment I actually had out of Sword and Shield was specifically from playing with friends and interacting through that. And I think, especially since they're on about like 4-player co-op in Scarlet Violet, I think it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's easy to justify Pokemon by virtue of just saying, yeah, but it's a social thing, you know, you play with your friends. We've all got those kind of games that we aren't gonna not like necessarily in love with, but do have an attachment to, because hey, that's what my friends play. I'm sure there's lots of people playing TF2 right now who think we're in that exact position.
I'm in that position with like Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, you might not necessarily. Like,
I don't play it on my own, and I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like, you can, but
As I said, it's the kind of game that you might have played for like a week at most and then put down. But because obviously you enjoy playing it with friends and it's such a experience in that sense, it's worth you stick around and you play with it more.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Sonic just looks like Breath of the Mild, which I've been making that joke for a while now. I can't wait for that joke to catch on, because some like popular like video or Twitter account sees my joke and then doesn't retweet it, just steals the joke, and then it becomes a popular joke. I can't wait for that to happen again, because it's happened a couple of times.
Maybe one day.
I honestly, though, I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of like not being super well known, because God, the few times like my notifications get blown up, I'm just like, can this stop?
Could you not?
It's like, I don't like this. Can it stop now, please?
You don't want the ridiculous infamy.
Like, the height of my infamy was like in the early days of YouTube, mainly for saying Sonic Adventure 2 sucks, because back then it was like a golden child game.
Yeah, well.
Oh, this is the one where I got to destroy the fuel depots.
Oh yeah, have fun.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I played.
The mission I'm really not looking forward to is the satellite one, where I gotta pop in and out of the clouds.
Oh yeah, I have picked up the Maverick DLC and I have played it. Yeah, some of the planes are pretty good.
I'll nice to have it at some point.
It's nice to have an F-14 that can actually, you know, maneuver. The Dark Star, which is like the super secret stealth plane, that's is like stupid quick, but it can't turn worth a shit. So it's actually really good for like. I actually used it in the Stonehenge defensive stage, and it worked amazingly well because it's so quick. You can protect all 3 outposts relatively easily. So yeah, actual gameplay tips. I know, crazy. Yeah, Sonic Forces just looks bad and uninteresting. And who knows, maybe they'll polish it up, maybe they'll do like a Sonic movie and it was like, okay, well, we've heard that you don't like this, so we're going to give you something that's better.
I mean, with the Sonic Team games now. Because the problem with Sonic Team is that they just don't want to make Sonic. Like, I mean, we've talked about this before. Sonic Team Japan really doesn't want to make Sonic games because Sonic was never really huge in Japan. They would rather be. Right now they're looking at Zelda and be like, man, I would love to work on Zelda.
And just don't, and just get like just outsource Sonic to like people like, well.
Yeah, when they did that, they got really butt mad when people liked the outsourced game better. Remember when that happened?
I don't see why they'd be upset about a game actually doing well and selling.
Well, because it wasn't a Japanese game. It wasn't Glorious Nippon.
So they have plenty of glorious Nippon games that do well.
Yeah, but
like,
this one has to do well, just like what happened with Square in Deus Ex Human Revolution, apparently. I learned that recently, and I was like, oh, that explains a lot. So well, apparently, so I learned some interesting stuff about the days of Eidos with it. So apparently, Japan, Square was really they felt really self-conscious when Deus Ex did as well as it did. So basically, they just started beating the shit out of the Western development team. Like, they started, like, canceling their games for no reason other than they were, worried over those games doing better. Which is just funny because of how much they want to make Western-style games, but they can't because they're bad at it.
I mean, realistically, they should have just not done anything and just let Eidos make Mankind Divided, because that killed off
the way
franchise.
They wanted to. Well, I mean, no, the problem was, what happened with that game was Square kept meddling with it. That game got meddled the fuck.
Yeah, I can believe that. It definitely just is like half a game at best.
Yeah, because, so they wanted to make a smaller game, and then Square's like, no, make a trilogy. The Deus Ex universe. Microtransactions. That was all Square.
I mean, I can believe. I mean, I'll say this: any AAA company that had like that had gotten something as successful as Deus Ex Human Revolution would have made that exact same thing. So it's hard to like say fault Square on that front specifically.
I mean, they didn't do that shit with other games of theirs that did well. So,
like what?
Like for example, like just baseline Final Fantasy.
But as a baseline Final Fantasy done well.
I'm not saying they've done well, but they've sold well. They just let them do whatever the fuck they want, still.
I'm pretty sure 15 still hasn't made back its money.
15 probably not, but I mean like everything else.
And 14's never.
And that was a developmental hell of like.
14 basically single-handedly saved the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 14's also a entirely different thing from the usual development cycle. So I'm not even going to count 14 in that. And it's like 13. I mean, did decently, but I don't think it was.
It did well sales-wise, even if it was a
the first one did. The 2 and 3 definitely had diminishing returns though.
That I would know. I'd have to look into. Cause I know they did well, but like, but I'm sure that probably the sequels didn't do as well. Because I mean, 13 was like the new entry in the series, so obviously it was gonna happen. But like as divisive as that game is, and as much as I fucking will rag on it, it does have a pretty decent fan base.
Well, as I said, the first one, I don't know. I'm pretty sure 2 and 3 definitely. I'm not going to say they undersold, but their performance was definitely a lot lower than original 13 was. So. Yeah, like, mainline Final Fantasy hasn't really done well since, I guess, actually 10. Because 11 doesn't super count, because once again, MMO. 12 definitely did not do that well.
Yeah, I don't know about 12 sales. I mean, I like 12, but I don't know about sales.
I think it did okay.
It did okay, but it's not, like, amazing. Oh my god, it's...
I mean, it wasn't a 10 or a 7, but, I mean...
Yeah. then
There
that's
hasn't,
kind
but the 10 and 7 are
that's-
like in their own fucking galaxy, basically.
well, it's either you're 10 and 7 where you have where your sales numbers are ridiculously huge, or you're like 4 and 6 where you're fat, where you're like so iconic that you can just coast off of that.
Or you're 5, which nobody cares about.
Or you're 2, 3, and 5. Who gives a shit? This kid's world will not exist outside of rando cameos.
But I liked 5.
I'm not saying 5 was a good game. 5 is a very entertaining game, but Master
You're
Race
talking about
people
sales, like, because I mean, like, hell, I like 12 a lot. I don't know about its sales, like, personally. Like, I don't have the numbers up here to look at and pull up and be like, so anyway. Oh, I failed the mission. I didn't blow up enough stuff.
Yeah, this mission's pretty brutal.
Michael Bay would be so ashamed.
Oh yeah, I did actually have a conversation
shit.
with someone where I decided that is no such thing as a good Michael in this world. They're all horrible people.
Michael! What about the president in, Metal Wolf?
No, he's the villain, remember?
No, that's Richard Hawk.
No,
No,
Richard Hawk is
no, Richard Hawke is the greatest American hero of all time.
No, you just bought into his propaganda.
Richard Hawk, Sergeant Spence, American justice without fail.
That game is way better than it has any right to be. I remember my friend bought it for me because, funny meme game, and then when I was telling her it was good, she's like, wait, it's good? And I was like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's almost like it was made by a company that made like half a dozen giant robot games before that one.
Who used to make giant robot games.
Now they just make the Dark Souls.
Hey, we have an idea for a new game. Please don't be Dark Souls. Please don't be Dark Souls. Dark Souls! But in Japan! Dark Souls! But
Wait,
open world!
Did somebody already do that Dark Souls in Japan thing?
Yeah, but we didn't do it.
Oh.
Dark Souls, but Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Give it time. Well, you know what? Actually, better idea. Don't do that. Just do Dynasty Warriors Dark Souls.
Oh, I think that's just Neo. Oh wait, no, that's Ninja Gaiden, but Dark Souls. Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies on that one.
Oh.
Now that
But
I'm
yeah.
paying more attention to what I'm supposed to do, I'm now actually blowing shit up more. But yeah, I mainly wanted to make fun of the Sonic reveal because it looked like exactly what I was worried about it looking like, and I'm just like, could I just be wrong for once?
No.
Like, I would like to be wrong.
Yeah, well, I would like lots of things. I would like a She-Hulk series that doesn't look terrible, or at least sound terrible.
I would like I would like Miss Marvel, but actually Miss Marvel.
Not a fascist.
Yeah. No, that's
I
Captain
would-
Marvel you're thinking of.
Oh.
Captain Marvel's the one who's always a fascist. I like to call Captain Marvel fascist Power Girl.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No, but it's accurate.
Hmm.
I think I liked her better when she was a drunk.
Oh yeah, Brett Carroll was a drunk at one point too.
Yeah, back when,
Back when you were allowed to drink in Marvel. It's like, you can't drink in Marvel, and you can't masturbate in DC.
No, you can't get head in DC.
No, you also can't masturbate.
Oh, you can't do that either anymore. Oh.
No, when Neil Gaiman was doing Sandman, one of the guidelines was saying no one in the DC universe masturbates. Fair enough, I suppose. No wonder.
Oh come on,
Batman's
I'm pretty sure Damian masturbates.
No wonder Batman's so fucking angry all the goddamn time.
He's not allowed to jerk off.
Yeah. I mean, at least I can understand it with Superman, because it's like he could actually put someone's eye out with that.
It's true.
And who would want to have super jizz go through your eye into your brain?
Lois Lane.
Yeah, true. That's a Robot Chicken sketch. I'm like reasonably certain.
If it's not, then Jesus Christ, they've lost their not touch.
I think this was way back in the early days of Robot Chicken. But we may never know.
Now he just wears a kryptonite condom.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair.
you know, I can see that.
There are worse ideas.
Yeah, I've heard dumber.
Oh, if you want a dumber idea, let me tell you about Super Horse.
I mean, yeah, we've talked to that to death. I mean, that's like on our like that, and also the like our go-tos are the Super Horse jokes, Dan Slott, and reference whenever something people have too much copium, referencing the Homer Simpson and Still Good thing.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not beat a dead Super Horse.
You're right.
Did I tell my joke about the original Red Ranger fraud bit? I know I told Sabo it.
I don't know.
Oh, so yeah, the original Red Ranger is probably going to jail for fraud.
I did hear about that.
And when I heard the news, I was like, "Wow, that's a name crime." And me and Sabo were talking about it, or me and a friend were talking about it, so it wasn't Sabo. I said he could have at least done something interesting. It's like after the samurai sword kill by the other Red Ranger, it's not. You can't just do something based on like fraud. It needs to be like mega fraud or something. And he was like, "What's a mega fraud?" And I said, "Well, you see, it's when 5 frauds all combine together into one big fraud."
It's Morbin time.
Now,
that meme's dead.
can't wait for that meme to die.
It's already
I can't wait for it
dead.
to fucking die.
It's
It needs to die hard.
It already died.
I need to die
It's
again.
okay. It's okay because he claimed he didn't know what was going on. It's not his fault. He's gonna fight this.
Is he gonna win though?
Probably not, but I
No.
mean, it worked for Johnny Depp, so.
Well, to be fair, it's slightly different in that case. He just had to prove that some people said things that were not necessarily that you can't prove were true. It's very easy to say. Well, you can't prove that this happened.
And then Warner Brothers had to come out and be like, we didn't reduce Amber Heard's screen time in Aquaman 2 because of the stuff Johnny said. We just reduced it because we didn't think she had good chemistry with the
So,
lead.
yeah,
We regretted casting her in the first place, and we just didn't think she was a very good actress.
It's just basically all of these insults to things against her, but it's also nothing to do with all these accusations. To be fair, I even said to someone, and I fucking hated
But it's because she kept saying that basically every bad thing that had happened to her in the last 5 years was the Johnny Depp, and they basically all had to come to court and be like, no, we did it because we didn't like her, and or of something she did. It had nothing to do with anything to do with Johnny.
I tried to check out as much of the court case because I just didn't care because it's fucking rich arseholes being rich arseholes.
I mean, my summary of it is just the scene of Armstrong going, "Fuck this 24-hour celebrity bullshit."
Yeah, that's been making the rounds.
Because like I know a lot of people who keep talking about it and they keep trying to get me into it, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care.
The only thing
I don't care.
There's only 2 things I'll actually say on the matter. Number one, I think the story about her shitting in the bed and blaming the dog is fucking hilarious.
That's like the only thing that's funny, but like, I just don't care.
And the only other thing I'll say is, like, the whole thing of this trial actually didn't matter. Like, basically Johnny Depp had already won before any verdict had been made, because the whole point was just, hey, if you make a big song and dance in this trial, it kind of doesn't matter what is said, because hey, everyone's already on his side now. Like, all that really matters of the whole trial was actually just getting public opinion to be not against him, and he succeeded like way before there was any verdicts. And if the verdicts had come down against him, people would have been pissed. Like, I can't believe the justice system has failed Johnny Depp. It's like, honestly, kind of a masterful stroke. But I guess I guess that's why we have heard of him, or whatever the Pirates of the Caribbean line is. I can't be asked to remember. So I'm not gonna. But yeah, I don't want to talk about it because it's just been everywhere, and I'd rather shoot myself, or worse, talk about the Jubilee that's going on right now.
There's only one Jubilee I care about, and this doesn't involve the X-Men.
I didn't know you guys actually did that. I thought that was just a thing from the Great Mouse Detective,
Nah,
where the Queen has a big party and calls it the whatever Jubilee.
I mean, we do, but it's mostly an excuse to have a 4-day weekend for everyone who's not me. Sadly, because I had a month off for recovering from surgery, I don't get such a privilege. Oh well. Hey, it's no different from you guys getting a 4-day weekend for quote-unquote Memorial Day, where you sit there and you remember people died, I guess. And
Yeah,
also-
I was like happy. I said so. I was like Happy Memorial Day, and they're like Memorial Day isn't happy. It's to think of all the people that have fallen in battle in service of this country.
Did you think of them though?
I was like, well, no, I was talking to my mom about it, and I'm like, do we know anybody who died in the armed forces? Everyone in our, well, I was like, all of our quote, I guess you can call them ancestors, even though it wasn't that far removed, but they all like were old and or dead before I ever knew them. All of them made it through the wars. So it's like. It's like my great uncle served in World War II, and he came out of it just fine. So, I was like, no, I don't know anybody that died in battle. Sorry.
But you were on them though. But yeah, most people just kind of use it as an excuse to have a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing wrong with a 4-day weekend. Same over here. It's like, oh yeah, God save the Queen and all of that. Anyway, I don't need to go into work for 2 whole days.
I'm still not convinced the Queen is actually still alive.
I am, if only because I'm pretty sure
Did she make a public appearance for this, or is it more video stuff? Like, I'm
No, I mean-
totally alive and well.
I mean, she did. She was at the parade. I think it was a
Oh,
parade
okay.
today. I didn't watch it.
Maybe she is alive then, because for the longest time, I remember the conspiracy was like, no, she's dead. They just don't want to report her death because then they have to go into like a several-week mourning process, and they don't want to do that.
That's actually a good point. Maybe I should assassinate the Queen if I want some time off work.
You do that, and basically just happens is like the skin peels away, and you just see like a Terminator face.
That would be cool, actually. I would like Robo Queen.
And then
If we-
and then she starts chasing you throughout the country, trying to kill you.
Throughout the country with
You
bad
know
stop
too
motion.
much.
I mean, I know more than the average person at this point, but only because I know more than nothing. Man,
What, he runs through the country. The Robo Queen is behind him in bad stop motion.
no, I want the robot apocalypse. I'd help her. I would love to cast aside this disgusting flesh and embrace
Yeah, pretty much.
embrace pure machinery.
I'd be like, yeah, just install me into a Gundam and I'll be good.
Yeah, thanks. Don't worry, Liz, I've got you. Your secret's safe with me while we seek to remove this disgusting filth from our glorious planet. But on the other hand, I think she maybe just absorbs the life energy of everyone around her, so... Either way.
She's like Stan Lee.
Yeah.
She
Well,
feeds on the life energy of those who dislike her.
But anyway, just to reiterate, for any MI5 or MI6 personnel listening, I would not actually assassinate the Queen just to get a national holiday. I would assassinate the Queen to become the new king, but that's fair game. And that's just how that works.
I would say it does. I don't know.
Oh no, it's that mission.
What mission? Oh, we have to
The,
chase
the cloud mission.
Have fun.
So speaking of robots,
Yes.
so for one, that Iron-Blooded Orphans mobile game that they've been supposedly working on for like 3 years at this point has been delayed yet again.
Well, I'm sure.
Supposedly because they said we want to do a better job than the show did,
That narrows it down.
which is an interesting way of putting it. Also, so the compilation special that they've been airing for like the last couple weeks, that nobody put on the internet, by the way. Apparently, they didn't finish the story. They only went to where he fights the mobile armor, and they just called it there.
Huh.
Yeah, fair.
Which is interesting because, well, first of all, that's basically the climax of the show, And secondly, I'm like, I wonder if they're planning on pulling a Code Geass where they're just gonna,
Retcon the ending.
retcon the ending, so it's not like, oh, everybody's dead.
I mean, probably pretty hard to make.
I wonder if they're gonna have like a 10-year special where it's like, hey, we're picking up from the Mobile Armor fight where everybody's still alive,
and everyone actually liked this show.
and everyone actually liked this show, because we realized that we need the main characters for this franchise to work. Also, I think they're really regretting it because apparently Iron Blooded Orphans did good in the U.S. and they were like, "Oh man, it's the first Gundam in years that is actually liked in the U.S. and we ruined any chance of doing anything else with it."
Shit.
Yeah, basically, they're like, "Oh, maybe we should have anticipated that this would be popular."
Here's the problem, though. If you do actually retcon the ending, it will just piss people off because even though you'll have plenty of people who go, "Man, good, I hated that ending," you'll have just as many, if not more, people go, "I can't believe they would ruin their artistic integrity just to sell toys."
Autistic
I don't know.
integrity.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm allowed to make that joke. I'm autistic.
Everyone I know hates the final arc so much. I'm pretty sure if they were just like, "Yeah, our bad, we screwed up, guys. Sorry, retcon," they'd be like, "Yeah, that's fair."
I don't know. You do anything small, even if it's the original artist, people go, "That's self-censorship."
I mean, people like what they did with Geass, so.
No, I mean, people will like anything if you put Geass in it or Lelouch.
It's true.
Just like they just said, "Hey, Lelouch isn't dead. Doesn't matter."
They liked Code Geass. I mean, they'll like just about anything as long as he's there.
It's like as long as Lelouch was still alive, so that people could have their whole, "Oh, my perfect husband I could get with whatever character."
Whichever one they self-imposed onto.
No, it was C2.
Oh, C2 is the one they self-imposed him to?
Because that's the only one they seem to want him to be with, and that is the movie was basically just one long, C2 show. So no, that's their choice because she's the most popular female for some reason.
But that's why.
I'm not really sure why.
But I just said, but it's the main thing I've seen of her. But
I think people like the whole like, haha, she's rude and snarky to him.
No. They'd love me then, because all I would do if I was...
He just shakes her fist at what a rude jerk she is to him because, he can't do anything to her because he's a woman. Or, I mean, because she's a woman.
No, I think you had it right the first time.
Maybe I did have it right the first time, yeah.
Just duck
I
him
mean,
in the clouds.
I think there is. I'm gonna say there is somebody who actually liked the way the original ending, and I'm like, that's me.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like the original ending in comparison to the new one.
But that's just because you want him to die.
Yes.
Because you hate him.
Is that so wrong?
Whereas I'm like writing it so that he died after realizing what a massive asshole he was the entire show. It was actually a good thing.
It's a good thing, but I definitely am going to say it was an author's saving throw. Like realizing, holy shit, this character sucks.
I think that was what they were shooting for all along. They just weren't expecting so many people to like him that much.
I do think.
Well, because I remember somebody being like, why does this show shit on him so much? And they're like, well, because he's kind of a terrible person. That's kind of the point.
Shit on him so much they basically like most characters that aren't a villain or shown to be wrong dick worship him.
Not really. Especially towards the end, it's like like most of his.
Towards the end, yeah, when the author's like, wait a minute.
Like most of his plans don't work. Most people don't really like him. Like I know.
In the end, yeah, but at the end,
I know,
not before.
I mean, even beforehand, like the only one who was like, "Oh my God, Zero, you're so amazing," is like the two girls, and that was about it.
Nah, it was more than that. It changed, but it was that originally. Oh shit! Back into the clouds with me. Kind of hard for me to concentrate on this while also trying not to explode.
Yeah, well.
Uh-oh.
Have you tried not exploding?
Yes. I'm attempting to try that right now, actually.
That's good. I hear not exploding is good.
Don't worry, blowing up is good for you.
Is it?
Work for Hero and work for Kira.
Okay.
No, well, no, Kira's just immune to blowing up for some reason.
Yeah, but it made him stronger because it gave him the freedom.
Yeah, and then it gave him the strike freedom. He's like, it's a nuclear explosion? Nah, it's fine, it's no big deal. How did you survive? I don't know.
Magic.
I just did.
There we go. Last radio tower.
It's basically on this mission, Sabo. There's a bunch of radio towers on a mountain range that he has to shoot, but he can't fly too high because otherwise he gets like taken out by a hyper-accurate missile. So
Got
he
it.
has to like
Didn't get
constantly. He has to like constantly duck and dive into cloud cover to not get hit.
And also watch the mountains because it's easy to slam into a mountain here. So you want a fast jet, but you still gotta be careful.
I just use the XFA-27.
I'm in the F-15.
Oh, look at you, Maverick.
I'm Maverick. No, I don't have that one. I don't have that DLC yet.
Nobody told me there was this many nearby. Incoming allied
Man.
Apparently,
I am gonna buy that
was
DLC
good,
though because
or-
it
or-
looks
or
fun.
at least-
The jets.
Or at least a bunch of
Like maybe by the next recording I'll have it.
older folk enjoyed like nostalgia.
I mean, they're not immune to nostalgia. Neither are we.
Yeah.
Everyone I know who's seen it has liked it, which is like 2 people, but you know that's still.
Like
another-
I'm sure it's a fun jet movie. Like I'm sure.
Probably better than most jet movies.
Like I'm sure I'd probably get more out of it than the Batman film that's just 3 fucking hours. That's the only reason I haven't watched it because it's too fucking long.
Yeah, but what's the
It's like,
reason
why?
why?
Someone's like, why are they still using F-14s and F-15s in Top Gun, even though those jets are like 40 years old and obsolete? And they're like, well, because F-35's blowing up the enemy from beyond visual range would not make for a particularly exciting movie.
Especially when the F-35s are blowing up the pilots in
Yeah.
very much visual range.
That's true.
I mean, you could use a 22 as your big bad jet if you want. 'Cause it's cool and it's scary.
No, we've already the Maverick DLC already kind of tells you what the big
No!
bad jet is.
But you know what I mean. If you want to use like a legit one. Alright, I just gotta dodge the missiles until they say, alright, these guys are enemies, you can shoot them down now.
Man, I was surprised to realise that the F-22 is in air combat, which came out in '95.
Yep!
Which is like even funnier because because the 22 didn't actually even come out till like '97.
Yeah, actually, you know what's even crazier? There's a game for the Sega Genesis that has that is called F-22 that was made before the F-22 was publicly, like, announced as a thing that the military had. I think it was by EA.
But no,
Back
I
when
didn't
EA
realise-
used to make a lot of like the jet fighter and helicopter fighter games.
I guess.
Because my brother used to buy a lot of those. Like the original Air Combat, I should say, was a game he had. So I played it first from there, and then I didn't really get into Air Combat full until I was a little older, and then I started buying the games because he never really bought one other than the first one. But I played a lot of the original Air Combat back when I was little.
Air Combat was one of those games where I think it just appeared by magic in my collection one day. Because I remember buying it or asking for it, it was just there. And I like to think that's just what happened because it puts a little bit of magic left in the world.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me have my randomly appearing video games.
You know what? Yeah, I'll let you have that. I won't try to figure out the actual answer.
Maybe it was dropped in by a drone. Maybe I sent it back to me. Maybe Future Train sent it to Past Train.
Obama gave it to you. It was a different kind of drone strike.
Thanks, Obama. Unironically, thanks, Obama. Man. Yeah, it has been a bit of a slow week, hence why news has been dominated by that trial. And
Oh god, everything is
Yeah.
flooding. But I mean, yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot for me to mention because like, there's not really anything. So like, yeah, there's this, the new Fire Emblem's coming out towards the end of the month, but there's not really anything really for me that I have that's really discussion worthy. And also, there's only 2 people in here that give a shit about it.
Oh, that's coming out already?
Yeah, it's coming out the 26th or the 25th.
What's it called?
3 Hopes.
3 Hopes.
Oh. I was even gonna make a joke and say it was called 4 Houses.
I mean,
No, it's called their.
okay, that
Three
hurt.
Houses was so. It's called 3 Houses was so popular they're making a happy ending game for everyone.
It might be a happy ending. We don't know.
I mean, I think it's going to be. I don't know why they would go through all that trouble again.
Who knows? Well, I'm just gonna wait and see what they do with it. Either way, I'm gonna have fun with it.
Well, good. I'm glad you're going to enjoy yourself. That sounded sarcastic, but I'm not being.
No, I know
sarcastic.
you weren't being sarcastic.
I was being sarcastic about not being sarcastic. Haha.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Man.
Jeez, that was close.
Oh, mildly amusing anecdote, I guess. So the Scottish Nationals have basically told other members of their group to lay off the English bashing because it's only hurting us, which is funny only because that's exactly what I recall neo-Nazis basically saying to other neo-Nazis. In that, guys, we're not doing ourselves any favour. I know we all agree that we hate these people, but we have to pretend we don't hate them so they take us seriously.
It's fine, you hate them anyway.
I don't hate them, I pity them.
Count. 1 to go. Go get him.
Having to be raised.
1 to go, Count! Yeah, get the last guy, Count!
Well. Yes, and then this whole plot point that surprisingly never comes back up,
No.
where Bandhawk probably just gets straight up medicine guy because he's about to leak military secrets.
Yep. Goodbye, full band.
Yeah, he died as he lived, inconsequentially.
I mean, isn't that pretty much everybody in the Bear Squad? Just
Hey, Count tries.
does he though?
He tries enough that he gets transferred to the same unit as Trigger, which must say something considering Trigger basically does everything.
He even possibly gets the girl too.
It was an accident.
What, Trigger or Count?
Count.
Return to base.
So just in time, what's his face? Tabloid is with Scrap Queen,
Oh yeah.
or at least they're hanging out together.
Well, they're hanging out where she asks a bunch of questions about Trigger. 41. Yeah, I think we got time for the mission where we gotta escort the bastard because I'm pretty sure that's the next mission.
Yes, that one. That was a bit of a pain in the ass as well.
Dismissed. Hold on, Count.
It's probably my least favorite set of missions, going from
You know what happened by giving false reports.
mounted to. I think this escort might be my least favorite mission in the game. It's either that or the mission where you have to fly around the city and ID targets.
Oh yeah, that'll be later in the game.
Yeah,
That's after the internet goes down.
that's mission 16, I want to say.
Yeah, it's a good while away.
Suddenly, we were being treated like a regular unit. We've been ordered to pack everything.
Oh,
up
yep,
and
this is
deliver
where
this
this is the.
further.
I remember this cutscene. This is where
We got a transport plane.
we escort
The funny thing
fuckface.
is, no
My
one
favorite
knew
thing
that
about
that
that
guy
though
was
is
on
still the
land
fact that,
and
and I know everyone points it
Everyone
out, but it's still
knows.
funny to me. The fact that if you shoot him down, you get points. You still
Take a
fail,
look
but
at
you
the map.
get points for it.
There's an island on the other side
Well.
of Uja our Marines landed on.
Like
Base
it's
element
really
is not too
funny.
far from there.
He had
They
it
tell us
coming.
the airfield's
He
being
did.
used as a base to support the
He's a
elevator.
dick.
Not sure if I
Also, I didn't
trust
realize
that.
until I bought it for
Anyway,
the last
the
mission that I
transport plane's
didn't
gonna
buy the
drop us
lasers for
there.
the
Without any fighters
for the
to cover
F-15.
us.
So I have the
Some
lasers
genius
now.
Thought we could commandeer the enemy's jets they left in the hangars.
Yay.
And use those to fight.
It's not a railgun,
Some
but it'll
real
do.
Soldiers, they said. Any other day we could
Yeah.
use low lives to go go
I
out
think
and
I'll
dig
probably
up
switch
my own
over to one of
house.
the
Prisoners
SU
don't
because
get
I want to
that.
wait for the 20.
Voters have
I
to
want to
make
wait
do
until
with
I
whatever
get
we
to
give
the
them and like it.
until after basically after this mission and before I even am willing to pull out the 22 again, even though I used it like in the first
They
mission
don't
for a
let us
joke.
prisoners near 'em. But with
35
all
is
that
benched
hustle and
forever.
bustle of moving the base,
I got my funny out of that.
looks like an antique.
I don't care that in this game specifically
I
it has
lost
good
my right for a
stats.
phone
Fuck
call
it,
ever
it's
since
the
I was arrested
F-35.
and locked up.
Why not just use the Strike Wyvern?
It's trippy to think that
Oh,
I can
do I
just
even
pick
have
it
that?
up, dial a number, and talk to someone
Unlocked,
from
I
my
mean.
own country.
It's your game.
I mean, I'll find out when I look at my
Mistakes ain't all
tree.
I'm good at. I'm plenty good at remembering phone numbers too.
Right now, Trash Queen is too busy monologuing
while
about how
later,
she's gonna
I
get
headed
out of
over
this
to
fucking
HQ.
hellhole.
You must know.
Into a new hell, into a brand new hellhole
Call direct from command.
with blackjack and also hookers.
What exactly are you doing with it?
It is a shame though that this guy also never shows up again.
From his time as a lieutenant. My point?
You know, the asshole who runs this, like, he just kind of gets put in a base and that's it.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's a shit base, but he's there.
In the wrong direction.
Oh no, I think he's put on a front line base, so he's just kind of fucked.
in theory.
All right, fine.
But we don't, like, know anything concrete about him.
But just you and you alone. You're the only one allowed on board. Besides, there's only one seat left.
I said cool.
Ugh.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
I still
I
can't
say
remember
that-
how, like, detailed these models are for what little they use them for the cutscenes.
Yeah, I do partially wonder if this was built with, if some of this was built with like another game in mind. Although although it probably also explains like why they had that support studio working on A7.
Maybe.
But I guess you don't really need to put in nearly as much like effort on like maps, since the vast majority of maps are dominated by skyboxes.
I guess. Because, like, what I was surprised by, because I noticed in the cutscene, like, even, like, Trash Queen's hair has a little bit of rigging to it, like, when she, like, jerked her head, like, her hair bounced, and I was like, that's a lot of work for a model that's only for this. Like, if you made it just sit there like plastic, I don't think anybody would care.
We expect extensive losses to all
Considering, you know, what kind of game this is and everything.
Still, the fact that we've
And that, I mean, the story is there, and it's insane, but the story is primarily there as an excuse to put you in a cool battlefield and make you do cool things in your jet.
personnel, including myself,
Yeah.
are being moved to a base.
And that's,
It is
that's
very-
not a problem. That's not an insult.
I mean, I've likened it before, but it is very Armored Core style storytelling, or method of delivering story, where the actual story is like happening all around the player character, and the player character is treated as the same way that a soldier or a merc or any number of just sort of one of the unnamed faceless masses in any kind of conflict would be, where you don't really know why you're doing what you're, well, you don't really necessarily have a full understanding of everything that's going on. You're more kind of, you know,
You are going to provide support.
You're in your mech, you're in your tank, you're in your jet, and you're fighting.
They do.
your job is to shoot the is to shoot the things that turn up red on your HUD.
General Staff Office hadn't stepped in and requested you. You're
I actually
it.
kind of like that this story is like mostly talked through, done through like the radio chatter and shit.
blood, yet you still are messing
Well, it
around
does like
behind the
it's,
scenes.
well, it does like
You
give it this kind of air of
and I'll shoot you out of the damn sky.
you know, real of, well, for lack of a better term, realism.
Yeah.
You know, the game, as I said, it is not about like, you're not the general. You don't know what's going on. You don't know all the plans, all the positions of the enemy. Shit just kind of happens.
You learn more as you go on, mainly because they're like, man, you're really good at this thing. I guess we'll tell you some more shit. What was the one you were saying I should buy?
Strike Wyvern.
Do I have it? I'm just checking to see if I have Strike. Okay, this is in the Strike tree. That's
It's like,
that's an A10. That's not it. That's the Typhoon. That's the SU-30. That's the SU-57. I don't. Is that a DLC jet?
no, it's in the base game. Well, I don't think it's a DLC jet. I'll check. Because it's the jet that Mihai has.
Oh,
In
I think
his final battle.
oh, the XO2. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I already have it unlocked actually.
Oh, you should be using that. That's a sick plan. Now it has an EM launcher as it's one of its sub-weapons.
Sure, why don't I use it in this mission? Why not? Fuck it, it'll be funny. The only reason I was using it is I was just like, because I also just like flying other jets.
No, that's fair. Just you were saying that you wanted a jet with
The railgun.
EML.
This would be the
Yeah.
best railgun jet in the game, then, considering what it is.
Yeah.
Skins. Confuse Mihai. Use his own skin. Oh god, this one's glowing. That hurts my eyes.
Oh yeah, that was added as DLC, as like anniversary DLC. I think it does. It's actually, I believe, a reference to a glitch in one of the previous games where. Oh no, it's a reference to a glitch in Ace Combat 7 where choosing the Super Hornet with the Red Devil skin for certain missions, namely Dark Blue and Cape Rainy Assault, would cause it to glow in a similar manner.
Ah!
And of course, so there you go. It's actually a reference to a glitch in the game. So at least they're self-aware.
Yeah.
Also, the Strike Wyvern is just pretty cool looking.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's a
like
cool
a-
jet. Alright, yeah, that'll do. I'll sortie with this. No, not making that mistake again where I hit leave hangar when I mean the sortie.
Preparations complete. Stand by at the front.
I know one of the DLCs is a variant of the F-22 that I hate because it just looks like a fucking tray.
Oh, yeah, I think I know which one you mean. I can't remember its exact name.
The runway is clear.
So the liaison plane left without me.
I mean, the planes I most like are the anniversary ones. The XFA 27 is a really good plane, and it's the first original plane from the second that was in the series, and it was the final plane you could get in Ace Combat 2.
It ain't gonna be a picnic, that's for sure.
And I believe the Falcon is like the first villain plane, or like the first original villain plane for Second Ace Combat 2.
Kill anyone trying to kill the commander, even if they're one of us.
Like how you killed Full Band?
It was an accident, so shut
It was
up.
an accident.
Give me that. I'll do the talking.
Well,
This is Base Commander McKenzie. I want you idiots to understand the gravity of this operation.
these things happen.
My orders take priority.
You're right.
That's it. Sure wish our cargo would shut up.
Anyway, turns out Trigger maybe didn't kill the president.
Enemies using anti-air weapons.
So, they finally figured out it was the F-35 all along.
Be on the lookout for camouflage SAM sites. Seek and destroy.
Pretty sure. Kind of weird how that's just a plot point that they introduce in like random chatter in this mission.
Damn, they're
Of oh yeah, Trigger, I guess you were actually innocent all along.
Find those targets.
Anyway, bye.
Oh well.
Yeah, I guess you're innocent. We still hate you, though.
No, they love Trigger by this point.
They're like,
'cause he's-
oh, you're a really good
basically what-
pilot, and we screwed up on that one. My bad.
SAM
It's
confirmed.
mostly because he's basically won the war at this point.
Or like he's pushing them way far back at this point in the game. Like, hey, wait a minute. Because literally, the way Ace Combat Wars work is one asshole pilot will just turn the entire tide of the war.
I mean, one asshole pilot who managed to down like 50 jets in one mission.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
I think that would turn the tide of any war.
You've gotten strong, Trigger. You might even be stronger than Darkness now. Wait, really? No.
Good old Trigger and Darkness and Light. And the Kingdom Hearts is Light.
unless it's darkness.
Unless it
Kingdom
is
Hearts.
Darkness.
May I please have some darkness? I've been a good boy. Don't you see? Kingdom Hearts is light. Oh, my darkness.
Can't you see? 1 billion lives!
Well. As I said, it's the best rendition of Metal Gear Solid 4 ever made.
Rover 1 has taken some damage, but can still fly.
Damaged? Take out the goddamn
I do try and tell people that it is basically exactly the same plot as MGS4, but, you know, condensed down to about 3 missions,
missiles are coming.
Spare squadron.
which only really is just like a benefit. Man. I was talking to a friend about Metroid, as you do. I find it bizarre. Like, I know Nintendo claims that they can't, or like Retro Studios claims it's impossible to import like Metroid Prime 3, but like surely you'd think the smarter thing would basically just do a Capcom of re-release the games that already exist, like Metroid Prime 1 and 2, and then use their success to gauge if it's worth putting money into the game that has not been remade / has to require extra work. You know, like do Resident Evil 2. And that basically saved Resident Evil so they can make all the exact same mistakes they were made the first time. And remember when they were like, yeah, these Resident Evil movies are bad, let's not do that again. And then immediately did that again and it was bad.
One is exposed to anti-air fire. Another SAM spotted.
Oh, yes, they're not having a
Where the
Resident
fuck are
Evil
these
game.
Sams?
40 kilometers remain.
Okay, there's a bunch over there.
Yeah, yeah. This is the thing I dislike about this mission, is it's like a neat idea having to follow the trails of the rockets. But like the problem with that is that
They
you
like
do
always
require...
hit.
Yeah, they're hyper accurate, and so it makes it so it means that while you're following the trails, you'll do is just getting peppered, and then you have all the jets that just sort of come in and pincer them, and it's just kind of a brutal series of events, and it's made worse because it's not even like a character you can pretend to give a shit about. It's like if you were escorting Scrap Queen or something, people would
Yeah,
be like, well,
like honestly, they should have put her in the jet so people are like, oh shit, Scrap Queen's in there. Like
It's
even
like,
if he's
ha-ha.
in there, it's like, oh well.
it's just at least put someone who you at least have a semi-positive relationship with, instead of just some asshole who's literally taking credit for all of your hard work.
Who every 5 seconds is like, put him in confinement.
Who, even in this game, is like, man, you guys did great defending me, and then the second other people show up, man, these guys did shit at defending me. You're like, I just saved your life, you miserable twat.
Bandits incoming. Engage and destroy.
You insufferable shit.
But, yeah. As I said, this might be my least favorite mission overall. I
Yeah,
think the drone...
like honestly, it's like 3 like missions back to back that are just kind of crap.
Yeah, I especially don't like... I really don't like the fuel depot one, because it's like... It takes so long, and it's like... and it's actually kind of like... Not difficult, but it's definitely tricky to like do the bombing part at the start, and then also surprise you have to fly into a sandstorm, then hunt all these like
Yeah,
random...
I mean, I already did that one.
Yeah, I know you did, but I can say I don't like it. It is a pain. It is definitely a pain. It's like, oh yeah, they'll show up on radar for exactly 3 seconds, and it's like, oh, but so if you don't, if you're not like already super close to them, it's going to be very hard for you to actually know where they are, other than like rough
Yeah.
estimate.
One has been hit. Are you guys doing this on purpose?
I don't know where the fucking thing is.
Shaking. Commander, you won't go down. Not for a while yet. 24
Oh, there it is.
to destination.
Well, I see a rocket trail. I
We
think.
found Sam.
Ah. Okay, here's the pincer jets.
And this is only the first wave of pincer jets.
Oh no, I've already dealt with like the other 2 jet sets.
Yeah. And then you have to top it off with the final quote-unquote boss at the end, which
Bandits inbound.
isn't necessarily hard, but it is very much of the, well, if you don't line this shot up really perfectly, you are going to be stuck in this loop for fucking ever. Which is definitely what Mihai can feel like, of, okay, if you get like a bad angle, and you both get stuck in like that perpetual, oh, we're just going to keep circling each other.
I mean, that's any like ace fight in this game, or in these games in general.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting close to the last 2. Oh, figured I'd throw a Hail Mary fucking railgun shot in there, see if I'd hit something.
Man, I'm getting recommend all the dinosaur stuff because Jurassic Park or Jurassic World 3 or whatever is coming out.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that stuff too.
Stupid dinosaurs. Why'd you have to be?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's the point. Why'd you have to exist only then when stupid man was too stupid to exist? We could have lived in a world with actual dinosaurs. That would have been cool.
Right?
Wouldn't you have liked to have the fear of being mauled by of being hunted by a T-Rex or something on your way to school in the morning?
I mean, isn't that just Dragon Ball?
No, that's not on the way to school. You have to be out in the Badlands for the dinosaurs because we exiled them all. Remember?
It's true.
Trigger, it's a breath of fresh air having you out here. You hear that, Trigger?
Around the
Alright,
time
I
we
think I
made
found
Dog,
the list. Fucking Sam.
Stink like them, Trigger. Looks like not all guard dogs have
around the time we made a Dog King.
record out of all of us. Count, you were convicted of fraud.
Oh, that's right, we did.
Live up to your name.
I do wonder.
That's crazy.
I do wonder if that was just a wish that someone made to have this random dog be king, and then that led to this line.
New SAM site. There are more than we expected.
Feels like a thing Toriyama would agree to.
Arrived at destination.
Not think of, because, well,
One, report your situation. If everything's fine, prepare
Toriyama's too rich to have ideas these days.
True. Oh yeah, that reminds me, definitely not a Toriyama idea. In the movie is coming out, a detail is that Videl is not a housewife. She, in fact, teaches martial arts classes.
identified aircraft. They're fast.
That definitely wasn't a Toriyama idea. Oh, hi, drone.
We closed in fast.
Hopefully I can shoot this thing down before it blows anything up.
Respond to the situation. Protect Roper 1.
Man,
You know, I never really liked... the drone designs I like and yet hate them at the same time. That makes any
That's-
goddamn sense.
Engage.
that's fair. Like I said, they're mostly designed to resemble the Falcon from Ace Combat 2.
Craft to safety.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask if I could
So,
do it myself.
it's kind of... And obviously, like, things like the Falcon and the 20 and the XA-27 have, like, this whole shtick of trying to translate things while still keeping their somewhat blocky textures.
Movements aren't insane, buddy.
And also guessing what a future plane might look like, and then, you know,
Keep that guy away from here.
learning that future planes probably just won't exist because we'll just have drones.
This aircraft.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Mm,
They keep saying drones are the future, but you know.
hey, look, they're very efficient at blowing up their targets. It's just more often than not their targets are civilians and hospitals.
Exactly, or their own people. That's like you can't trust exploding things to an AI because well,
It's
who's
not.
gonna
It's
be-
a. It's not. It's a remote control. It's basically a remote controlled.
well, yeah, but supposedly they want to go full AI drones, and I'm like, that sounds like a terrible idea.
I mean, they can't even make a self-driving car, so about it crashing into people.
I mean, they want to do that too, but it's crashing into people.
It's not even crashing into the right people. Like, would anybody care if Elon Musk got run over by his own car?
No.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure everyone would just go, ha ha!
Well, it couldn't have happened to a better person. That's for buying Twitter, you cunt.
Oh no, he lost a lot of money and backed out of that. His
Oh.
Tesla stocks went to shit.
Oh. I
I
wonder
mean, I think
why.
I'd rather have him in charge of Twitter than
He also got cucked. He also got beat up by his
Normies.
hard drive, which was really funny.
Unidentified aircraft. You are in our airspace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got made fun of by them. It was funny.
Warnings.
Hard drive makes fun of everyone.
Yeah, but he got pissy about it,
Oh,
and then they
that's
just kept dragging him.
Bandit lost.
that's
Like,
his
there's one part
first
where they're
mistake.
like, what was it? They're like, you're like SNL on a bad day, and they're just like, oh, you would be the expert of SNL on a bad day. And it was just a picture of him when he was hosting it in a Wario costume.
Approaching. Allied fighters.
mean.
Force base 444 squadron.
That's very insulting. No one should be compared to SNL.
But he was on there, that's the thing. And he hosted it. And he was like in this really weird, like, Wario sketch.
Yeah, it was weird.
He's just a weird guy and probably a serial killer. I shouldn't say that, but I mean,
Who, Elon Musk, probably.
yeah, you can believe it. He's the kind of person you think, yeah, he's got a corpse or something hidden under his.
A couple, honestly.
I mean, maybe not a serial killer, but you know, he's probably a murder
Serial killer,
enthusiast.
just a murderer too.
Just a murder enthusiast.
Respectfully, sir, I believe they got promise.
I like that Wiseman is basically, as best he can, saying you're full of shit.
Wow.
Respectfully as he can, considering, you know...
In my experience, whenever people say with all due respect, it means none.
It means, I think you're a cunt.
Well, you just think people should just be honest about it. You know, imagine if instead of saying with all due respect, I think the honourable gentleman is wrong, and he just said, I think you're a fucking liar, you piece of shit. I hope you die in a fire. I hope your entire family burns. I hope you have the stench of your burning, rotting family lodged in your nostrils for the rest of time.
You know, I do wonder what the world would be like sometimes if everyone just did stuff like that.
I'd be happy.
Just no fake play. Then it's just like, no, you're an idiot and you should die.
Yeah. It's like what he says versus what he actually says.
Stand by for further orders.
Everyone's like, no, I don't think that's accurate versus, fuck you, I hope you die.
Eh?
Why aren't you dead yet?
Anyway, that's the end of the mission. This was the trio of bad missions.
Yeah.
What?
Why don't you or the audience just die? Yeah, I turned off the content filter for us. Now we can say what we really think. Saber, I hate you.
I mean, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
It's
particularly
actually,
surprised.
you know what? In reality, it's actually no different, huh?
well. We don't have a time to leave, so I guess we'll
No.
just end now.
No. Yeah, we'll just go.
Yeah.
Why are we still here? Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Yes. Bye.